Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. So, on a day that's about a third of the way through July.
Yep.
Did you do the crossword?
I did.
And did you find it 1/3 more entertaining than usual?
I found it 1/3 more challenging than usual for Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Took me a while, but I got through it.
Yeah.
It had a very unique theme.
Yes.
Oh.
And it involved, well, rather than me go into it, why don't you just talk about the theme?
Well, it was kind of all over the place. We had circled squares going in a diagonal from the lower left to the upper right, but just in the upper left quadrant.
Yes.
There were just two sets of circled squares. One was 4 letters high, and one was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters high. But they were in the upper left corner.
Which was surprising.
Yes, And if you answered the puzzle correctly, the one with the 4 letters spelled out Alps, like the Switzerland Alps, or the European Alps, I guess. And the other one, if you answered everything right, spelled out Pyrenees, which is also a mountain range.
Right.
Okay, so then there were a couple of sort of themed clues that went along with Alps and Pyrenees. And the first one was 40 across. I guess this is sort of the revealer. Hard patterns to break, or a punny description of the climbs up the circled letters. And that was vicious cycles. So obviously there are bicycles races up the Alps and up and down through the Pyrenees, and rather than vicious circles, they put vicious cycles.
Right.
And then the other clue that went with this theme was 48 across, 3-week bike race, such as the one featured in this puzzle, and that was Grand Tour.
Yes.
And I think that is everything that had to do with the theme. But it wasn't like, your typical theme where you have 4 theme clues and then a revealer. Here you had circled squares that had names of mountain ranges where they have bike races.
Right.
Then you had the punny revealer, vicious cycles.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the name, actually, of one of the bike races, which was Grand Tour.
Right.
So I don't think there was anything else, was there?
Not that I spotted. I always thought it was I just know the Tour de France.
Yes.
And so the Grand Tour is some other bike tour.
Apparently, yeah. 3-week bike race.
Wow.
Wow, that's a long bike race.
Yes.
It must be through the Alps.
Oh, you know what? We did miss one other clue. 16 down.
Which was?
A typical ending point for this puzzle's race.
Oh.
And the Champs-Élysées.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe the Grand Tour
Paris.
is the Tour de France. We really should investigate this.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a Fun Fact Friday discussion.
It might just have to be.
Yeah, I don't follow bike racing that much. No. I like to bicycle, but
me either.
I don't think I could keep up with the people who are capable of climbing the Alps or the Pyrenees. That actually did help me, though, the fact that we had mountain ranges in there, because there was one point at which I was a little unsure as to the letters. I think it was actually the P of past tense. I wasn't sure what was happening down there, and it's like, well, it's got to be a P. So I had that starting letter.
Oh, 31 across.
Actually, no, I take it back. It was the second letter, 24 down. Group of 2 was the dyad.
That's correct.
And I'm like, how do I spell dyad? Because I was thinking it might be spelled D-I-A-D, but it was Pyrenees, so that it had to be a Y. Oh. D-Y-A-D.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that was sort of usul to know.
I guess so, yeah. I had problems. I got it all solved last night, but I didn't get it really solved. I got it all filled in. But then in the morning, I looked at it over, trying to find my mistake, and I had spelled 22 across Tuscan red wines Chianti's, I spelled it with an E
Right.
at the end. Because 9 down was pardon me in Pisa, and that was SCUSI.
Yes.
I always thought that ended in an E, but I guess it ends in an I.
Right. I made that exact same mistake.
Really?
Yep. And that was my ending point too. Because SCUS sounded right and Chianti with an E sounded right. But
well, I know like a singular, it's Chianti with an I. But I was just sure SCUSI was ended in an E.
But if Chianti was ended in an I, then if it became plural, you'd simply add an S.
Well,
so and
I
SCUSI,
thought maybe you changed it to an E.
Somehow SCUSI sounds right.
SCUSI sounds right, but I just thought it was spelled with an E.
Well, then it would just be SCUS, right? Like,
well,
excuse
if
me.
It's Italian, it might not be. They might not follow the same rules that we do here.
Right. Well, apparently one of them is don't end in an E. So,
I didn't get 40 down. I mean, I got it, but I don't really understand it. 40 down. Food item, quaintly.
Viand.
Viand. I've never heard that word.
You know, I've heard of. Let's see. What are the cowboys say in the old radio shows? Vittles.
Yes.
But and viand. So if you spell viand with an E, that's meat in French.
Oh.
So somehow it seemed right.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think. I think if you walked into a restaurant and said, "I'd like some viand, please,"
yeah. Yes.
they'd say that's beyond us to help.
Viand do you offer tonight?
Yes.
No, I'd never heard that word. No.
Right. I think maybe I saw it. I certainly have seen it with an E. I know I had to know that for some exam somewhere. Another word that I found curious, 19 across, most reserved was shyest.
Yes.
And once again, I look at that with an I and think that is wrong.
I know. I had it with a Y. I had to change it when I got to 13 down, where many Penobscot and Passamaquoddy live.
Passamaquoddy, I guess?
I don't know.
And that was Maine. You're not familiar with this with the state Maine with a Y, Mayne?
Nope, did not work for me.
Right, but I mean it's got to be with an I, and I think we've seen that clue not too long ago. Getting back to the top left, we had 1 down, that being Duchess of blank Goya subject, and that was Duchess of ALBA.
That's correct.
And I was thinking that we just had Elma Thomas on Sunday, an abstract painter. So we've had Elma, and then today we've had Elba.
That's correct, yes.
Bet we have Elba sometime soon. 6 down, have you ever participated in 6 down, the aerobic exercise option step class?
No, I have not.
I sometimes go up and down stairs. I don't think that counts.
No, step class, they just have like a little step that, they put in front of you, and then you just step up and back and do like aerobic routines with it.
It's probably safer that way.
Oh, much.
You know what? There was another clue related to bikes that we missed. 8 down, segment of this puzzle's race, time trial. 8 down.
True.
Yeah, just all over the place.
I guess. Very different.
Yeah. Right beneath time trial, we had a word that was surprising to me, book in a biblioteca. And I know in French, bibliothèque means library, and biblioteca must mean library in some other language. Spanish? Thank you very much. Yeah. Because the answer was libro.
That's right. That's Spanish for book.
Really? Okay. Because in French it's livre, L-I-V-R-E. So it was close enough that it made sense. Let's see. 54 across, hot blank, winter coif. And I had hot cocoa. Oh. But it was hot toddy.
Hot toddy, yes.
And I needed that T because 48 down, clock setting standard, ABRA. So I was thinking it was going to be something like the National Bureau of Standards. I was thinking it was going to be a government agency. No. But in fact, it's GMT, Greenwich Mean Time.
That's right.
And of course, we were just there.
We were.
Straddling the prime meridian, as it were.
Meridian, that's right.
That was a memorable trip.
Fun. That was a fun day.
Yes, indeed. 19 down. Did you know this? Actor Lou, it was Simu, S-I-M-U.
Yes.
You did?
Simu Liu. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He was in like the 10 Rings, right?
Yes.
That Marvel movie.
Yes, that's where I first saw him.
Oh.
But yeah, and I guess he was in the Barbie movie. He was one of the Kens.
One of the Kens? Let's see here. I thought the clue for 25 across, Hooskow was slammer.
Yes.
I would never want to be in the Hooskow, but if I did, I'd like them to call it Hooskow because it's just fun to say. Probably.
Rather than slammer.
Rather than slammer, yeah. And definitely not a place that would be fun to be in, I'm sure.
Not at all.
27 down, I thought was brilliantly clued. One issuing rose-tinted glasses, realist.
Yes.
A great way of wording that.
Right.
And 31 across, what memories are recounted in. So it was like journals, albums. I was trying to think of all sorts of things. It was past tense.
Exactly.
That was cute.
That was a great clue too.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was a fine crossword by Hal Moore.
Yep.
I think it was a little bit, it felt a little bit different than other Wednesday crosswords. And one of the things I like about the New York Times is that they're always willing to experiment and try new things.
Yeah.
So bravo.
I love that about it.
Yeah. Bravo, Hal, for doing this.
Yep.
Bravo, Joel, for encouraging it. And that's it for today. We will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.